Alright, so, you guys have a good Christmas? I recorded this a while ago, but Premiere kept crashing on me, but I fixed it, so, yeah, sorry. I'm not re-recording this. Because I didn't. You know, some people want cars, or cash, or, you know, stuff like that. Me, I'm just looking for, a way to escape the never-ending nightmare that is every waking moment of my existence. But, Smash Brothers works too, that's just fine, close enough. Thank you, Daddy Sakurai.
Never ask me for anything ever again.
Of course, Father. Alright, what am I doing here? Oh yeah, Aquaman, yeah. I actually almost completely forgot about it. You get it? Because it's forgettable. Aquaman is the latest movie in the still untitled DC universe of films, which have all ranged from, in my humble opinion, bad, terrible, oh my god, please end my suffering, pretty good, and honestly, I still haven't seen Justice League because I really can't be bothered. So with a reputation like that, how does Aquaman fare amongst them? It's alright. Not quite bad, not all that good, but watchable and an easily entertaining film. If you're going to watch it, do it for the spectacle. Other than a couple shots that are pretty obvious green screen and a few poor de-aging effects, everything in the movie looks gorgeous, if a little CG heavy. But that just gives them more freedom to come up with weird and crazy stuff. Alright, let's just cut to the chase here. This movie's dumb. Like, really dumb. But dumb in pretty much all the right ways. Which makes sense since it's directed by James Wan, who, in addition to creating some of the most notable horror franchises of the past couple decades, directed Furious 7, the movie with perhaps the greatest line in cinema history.
Thing about street fights? The street always wins.
You're not even on a street! So, obviously this movie doesn't take itself super seriously. There's sharks with freaking laser beams, there's an octopus playing the drums, there's people talking to fish, there's impossibly big, ridiculous action scenes. There is literally a scene where our protagonists walk out of the ocean onto a beach in slow motion while a cover of Toto's Africa, sung by Pitbull, plays in the background. Pitbull. 10 out of 10, this is the best goddamn movie ever made. Get all the Oscars, I love it, it's beautiful. Basically what I'm saying is that this movie has a complete understanding of what it's trying to do. At least most of the time. For every moment it decides to have fun with itself and accepts that it's a movie about a guy who talks to fish, it also tries to be a big Lord of the Rings style epic. And that's where it starts to lose me. It works well enough as an experience and a fun ride at the movies, but when it comes to characters I care about and the plot that grabs my attention, it's a little... For as much time as the movie spends throwing tons of exposition about ancient legends and whatnot at the audience, the story just never really becomes an important focus. That's not necessarily a bad thing in and of itself. Mad Max Fury Road is one of my favorite movies of all time, and the plot for that isn't exactly the most unconventional. Most of the enjoyment comes from appreciating the filmmaking and getting lost in the world. But when you interrupt the flow so much to deliver all this information about stuff you just don't care about, the movie starts to drag. But even then, the plot is brushed aside so quickly in order for them to get to the next action scene that you never really have a chance to even think about caring what's going on. I didn't know a 2.5 hour movie could simultaneously be too slow and too rushed, but here we are. The world building is especially disappointing. Despite Atlantis' significance to the story, you're only in it for a pretty small percentage of the movie, and in that time you never actually get to know it. You never see what the society is like, how it functions, how people go about their daily lives. Hell, you don't even see a lot of people at all. It's just a place where the characters have to go so the rest of the plot can happen. And that's all the plot really is. Just a bunch of excuses for some cool stuff to happen every now and again. And when the cool stuff does happen, it is cool, but not cool enough to outweigh the movie's other problems. Jason Momoa is able to carry this movie to some level of success. He's clearly having the time of his life. And while he doesn't quite sell the dramatic stuff, his bro, surfer dude version of Aquaman works pretty well in this movie and manages to get some laughs, even if what he's saying isn't actually all that funny.
That was the worst pep talk ever.
Did you hear that, guys? The big muscle man made it funny. Everyone else is fine, mostly. Willem Dafoe was alright, Patrick Wilson is a bad guy who does bad stuff because he's evil, Jango Fett has a couple good scenes. They're all fine, they just don't do anything particularly memorable or special. Except for Amber Hood, because she sucks. You're supposed to get the feeling that she and Jason Momoa slowly form a relationship over the course of the movie, but I just don't buy it in the slightest. There's barely a second where she's a convincing lead, and the romance just comes off as forced. Black Manta's a fairly interesting villain, mostly due to his design, which is straight out of the comics, and I love it. But he's only in the movie for like 2 action sequences and then disappears. He feels pretty relevant to the plot, but at least he's somewhat interesting. And hey, I'm sure they'll have a spot for him in the ever-growing DC universe. Oh my god, there's gonna be so many of these things, please make it stop. Ultimately, if you just want to see some cool stuff flying across the screen for a few hours and have a fun time, you could do worse. But if you're looking for something deeper, I'm afraid you'll find that it's a pretty shallow movie underneath. Cause they're in the water. I'm gonna be nice and give it like a 6 out of 10. At the end of the day, I was more entertained by it than I was not entertained by it. There's just nothing to really sink your teeth into outside of some good action here and there. Now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna play Smash Bros for like 3 weeks straight. So have a good day, have a good break, and remember that no matter how much you want it to stop, the DC universe will always continue. Forever and ever. Just like your depression.
I'm the living great Gatsby, but these boys are watching quick and disappear like Banksy. From ocean to ocean, sea to sea, I'm something that you gotta see.
Gonna take a love to drag me away from you.
Show off. I could have just peed on it.